Hi all. So in this tutorial, we will discuss about annotations, that TestNG annotations and TestNG annotations order, right? Okay. So in our previous tutorial, you have already known about attest annotation, right? Which is called test annotation, right? So in attest annotation, without main method, you have run a program, right, and get the results as well. So in attest annotation is basically represent test method, right? Test method in the terms of automation, right? It represent test method. So test method means basically in QA terms. In QA terms, we can say it's a test case. Test case, right? Okay. So before, if you need to execute something before the test annotation, right? If we need to execute something before test annotation, so we can say like at before before method. Before method, right? If you need to execute something after the test annotation, so we can say it's at after method, right? So the reason is this one is called test method. At test annotation represent test method. It's not a test, right? It's not a test, it's a test method, right? Okay. So so there are one or more tests, right? There are one or more tests inside a class, right? Inside a class, right? So in class level, right? In class level, if we need to that class level represent, right? There are no annotations to class, right? There are no annotations to class, but I need to say that that class represent the feature, right? Feature, feature, right? A feature means in the sense basically there might be a login feature, right? So login feature contains one or more login test cases, right? Okay. So in feature, so if you need to run, if you need to execute something before the class, right? Before the class, it's called at before class. Before class. So in the same way, if you need to run something after the class, it is called at after class, right? It's called at after class, right? Okay. uh, After class, right? Okay. uh, then there are couple of classes, right? There are couple of classes. There are couple of classes may inside inside the there are couple of classes may inside the test, right? Inside a test. This is called test layer, right? Okay. In the same way, if you need to add something, if you need to execute something before the test execution, right? You can say at before test. If you need to execute something after the test, then you can say at after test, right? This is test layer. So there are one or more tests. There are one or more tests inside a suit. Inside a suit. This is called suit level, right? So in the same way, if we need to execute something before the suit, so we can say at before suit is the annotation. At after suit is the annotation, right? Okay, so this is the order, right? Okay, so in other diagram we can explain like this is the suit, right? This is the suit. So that one suit, right, that one suit may contains one or more tests, right? One or more tests, right? This is test 1, like test 2. Likewise there are a couple of tests you can include. That this one is test n, right? So if you take one test, right, if you take one test, that test might contains one or more test classes, basically, which is a feature, right? So we can say test class 1, test class 2, likewise, right? Test class n, right? If we take one test class, right, uh, if we take one test class, that test class may contains one or more test method, right? Test method 1, test method 2, likewise test method n, right? Okay, so this is the order, right? So you know that so through the this one represent attest annotation, this one represent through attest annotation, attest annotation. That means test method represented by attest annotation. That attest annotation doesn't mean it's a test, it's a test method. In QA terms, it's a test case, right? So if we take one test class, if we just if we talk about that at at before method annotation, right? At before method annotation, right? So think there are three tests, right? So each and every test execution of these three test cases, that test method, sorry, before method will be executed, right? So in TM1, TM2, like think like TM3 also there, right? TM3, what is the order, right? So first execute before method, then TM1, then execute before method, then TM2, then execute before method, then TM3. So likewise, right? So in the same way, after method means after the TM1, after method will be executed. After TM2, that after method will be executed. After TM3, that after method will be executed, right? So so if we take like test case 2, right? So test case 2 means before execution of that class, right? So that class means that class contains a couple of test methods. So that means before execution of any of the test method. So that means in this other word, before execution of the test class, that test before class will be executed, right? So first execute before class, then you can consider about TM1, TM2, TM3, right? So after the all test cases are executed inside this test class, that after test class will be executed, right? Okay, so in the test, that means the same way, before execution of any of this test class connected to that test case, a specific test, right, that before test will be executed. So after execution of these test classes which belongs to that specific test, that after test will be executed, right? So if we consider about that suit level, right, that suit level contains a couple of tests, right? So before execution of any of the test, that before suit will be executed, after that suit will be executed. That suit means basically the tests, right? After the all execution of these tests, right, that after suit will be executed. Okay, so this is the annotation of order of this test. Okay, now we will go with kind of example, right? Okay, so then I open my TestNG demo again, right? So then I will just write couple of methods like at before method, right? Before method, then I can say like public void before method. I will give the name before method. You can give any name to method name, right? Then s out So it will consider this is before method through the annotation, not using that method name you have given, right? You can provide any name to here, right? Okay. Then I will just print like before method, right? So in the same way, I just copy this one and paste it here. uh, so here you can say like after method, right? So in the same way I can say like after method, right? So here also you can say like after method, after method, right? So then I can just get the copy of these two annotations and then paste it here. So instead of before method I will say before uh, class, right? So here I can say after class, right? After class. Here instead of that method I can say class. Here also I can say class, right? Okay. So in the I paste the same copy here. So I can say class level, then test level, then before test, then after test, right? Okay. So in before test, right, then after test. Here also you need to say like this one is called class, right? Class. I forgot to change the display text class here. Also I need to change this one to test, right? Here which is test, right? Test. Okay. So I just paste the same copy here after the test level. So then we can consider suit level, right? So here before suit, right? Then after after suit, okay? After suit, okay? Then here we can say suit before suit after suit. We also change to suit. Here you can see that I didn't put in the order like through the annotation that that should be identified which one comes first, right? So I put like before method, after that after method, right? Then before class, after the after class, okay? So there is no any proper order, so it will execute the order through the annotation order, right? TestNG will take care of order. Okay. So I'm going to execute this through the class, right? I'm here also you can just consider this one as well, right? Okay, first of all I will go with the class, right? Okay. So then we'll see the output, right? Which is aligned with that what we have written in the tutorial, right? Here you can see that before suit, before test, before class, before method, right? If you take that thing, before suit, before test, before class, before method, okay? Okay, suit, test, class, method. After that the test will be executed, then in the same way after method, after class, after test, likewise, right? So now you can understand the order, right? So I will just do a small change here. So instead of this one, right, instead of one test method, so I will provide two test methods, right? Here I will say like my second test, right? My second test, okay? Then I will execute through class, right? Then you can fully understand what I'm telling. Here now you can see that before suit, test, class, right? After that before method, right? You can see that before method will be executed, sorry, before method is executed two times, right? next gen automation, and here the second one also, like we will change the display name, right? Here this one to next gen automation, so we can say like second next gen automation, right? Second, then you will understand fully this one. Okay, I'll give a run. uh, Here now you can see that suit test class, after that before method is executed, then next gen automation executed after method, then also again before method will be executed, then second next gen automation, then after method. So now you will now you should be able to understand what I said before, right? So before each and every, so that before test method will be executed before the each and every test methods, the after test method will be executed after the each and every test method, in the same way that before class and before test all the annotations are working, right? Okay, hope you can understand what I said, right? And you can just practice more examples using TestNG annotation order. Okay.